Storyblocks, how you doing, and welcome to another video. And in this video we'll be talking about things that I've used the most this week, any new stuff that I bought, stuff that I wish I'd not bought, and if I was looking to buy something right now, what would be on my wish list of things to buy. Then we'll also take a look at some of the channels I've been watching this week, and specifically some of the videos, and if I think some of them are really good and worth a look, I'll make a recommendation down below for you to have a look at those videos as well. And then finally we'll wrap up the week with some of the things that I've learnt this week that might be useful to you as tips to help you make things better, faster on YouTube. Alright, let's get into it, folks. Let's talk about some of the new stuff that I'm using this week. And first off this week is the Logitech K380 Keyboard. So this is a wireless keyboard, but one of the great features about this keyboard is you can connect it to 3 devices. So because I use a Mac and I use a PC and an iPad, with the buttons on the top, these 3 buttons here, you can just very easily switch between the devices, and with the touch of a button you can be typing on your Mac or you can be typing on your PC. So for me, with a multi kind of device setup, this is an absolute dream. But for me, I think these keys here, I don't really use those that much. I think it's a little bit too wide for the setup that I've got. So there is also the K380 keyboard. Now I've had this come in to have a go with as well, and I think I've got a preference for the 380, but it connects to my Mac but won't connect to my PC. So I think that's a problem with having connected the 780 first, which I've got to resolve. But however, that's some new kit that's come in this week. And then also something new this week is that I signed up for Storyblocks. One of the things I think that was stopping me making videos was actually having access to extra footage and sound effects and that kind of thing to actually make the videos and to put some extra clips in the videos. So Storyblocks, having used it for a week now, I think it's really made a difference, because I made a couple of Christmas videos last week, and being able to just jump on, get some royalty-free clips and some music just made the whole process so much easier. And it's actually quite interesting and exciting going looking for the extra clips and that kind of thing as well. So in addition to Storyblocks and the keyboards this week, there's also this. This is basically just a power socket, and the great thing about this, it has a total of I think 9 different devices you can charge at the same time. So that's 3 devices that are using a 3.1 amp I think USB, and then 3 main sockets as well. So what I've created with that is like a little charging station, so it means when I'm finished filming I can just connect all my batteries and that kind of stuff. Boom, off you go, ready to go. Fourth thing on the list this week is my website. So I've revamped the website and I've kind of put that up, so there'll be a link down in the description if you want to go and have a look at that, and please do. And basically what that is to list my videos and other things that I've been making, and there'll be some other tips and tutorials that don't make it into videos as well. So that's the new stuff for this week, and I'm really pleased with some of the stuff that I've been using that I bought. I just need to figure out that keyboard problem. Right, so in terms of things that I've been using most this week, it would have to be the Stream Deck. This is the Stream Deck XL, and what I've done, because I'm doing more editing now, I'm really trying to get some more videos out. The Stream Deck I've programmed, and if I've done it in time, I'll put a link to it here, that will show you how I've got the Stream Deck set up to work with Premiere Pro. So that has really made a difference. I'm really getting quite quick at using the Stream Deck to edit the videos. So that's one of the things I'm using the most this week. Second on the list is the PD2700U. So I bought this monitor some while ago, and to be honest, I didn't really use it because I didn't really do much on YouTube and I wasn't doing much video editing and that kind of stuff. But now I'm using it all the time, and it is a dream to use. So the PD2700U, there's also a 32-inch version. This is 27-inch version, which is what the name is. What is really cool about that with Premiere Pro, because it's a 4K monitor, you can actually have a 1080p preview of what you're editing. So it's just really useful to see a 1080p preview in the same quality that you would get as if you were to edit it at the 1080p size. So yes, the PD2700U, and I'll probably do a review on that at some stage once I've used it a bit more. And then the other thing which I mentioned in the intro is Storyblocks. Really enjoying using Storyblocks this week. Some gear that I wish I'd not brought. 2 things this week. The first thing, I bought this for my GoPros, and you know, never used it. I honestly thought that I would use this a lot, and I just haven't. And so that was a wasted £19, I think there really. However, I think if it had been landscape, I probably would have used it more. It just doesn't feel right being, I don't know, portrait, I guess. Anyway, something I wish I'd not bought. Second on the list of things I wish I'd not bought, and this is really super quality stuff, and I really like Joby stuff. I bought a kind of shoulder strap which screws into the bottom of your camera. I've used it a bit, but not much, so I think that's going in the box of not much used stuff. this week. All right, let's talk about stuff that's on my wish list, stuff that I would like to buy. And I think if I was looking to buy something this week, I would want to buy the Logitech MX3 mouse. All right, so I watch too much YouTube. Let's talk about some of the channels that I've been watching this week. So first on the list would be Levi Allen. Levi Allen and his wife and his lovely little baby actually live out of their own converted van, and they do traveling and sort of there's the whole kind of backstory of creating the van, living and working from the van, and Levi makes movies and that kind of stuff from his van and uses his van to go to the sets and that kind of stuff. Just a super interesting, authentic guy. It's a pleasure to watch those videos. So video from Levi Allen is down below. Second on the list is Trent Palmer. So I might have mentioned before, because people that are a pilot do mention it. I'm a pilot and I fly planes just for fun, just privately and that kind of stuff. But there's a channel from a guy called Trent Palmer, and he kind of takes making flying videos to the next level. So I'll put a link down to Trent Palmer. And what he does actually, I think he started off making or being a drone pilot for filming car commercials and that kind of stuff. Then he learned to fly. So because he's had that evolution, his videography skills, and there's some drone flying and actual flying as well, it's just cinematic. So take a look down below at Trent Palmer. In addition to those two channels this week, Thomas Heaton. So Thomas Heaton's a photographer, does landscape photography, and what I like about Thomas's channel is that you get the trials and tribulations of trying to get that photograph. He's always seems to be soaking wet. He always seems to be stood there waiting for the right moment, and you can't have anything but admiration for someone that can stand in the rain waiting for that perfect picture to come along. So do take a look at Thomas's channel, because I think he's just an authentic guy as well, and I love just watching the trials and tribulations of how he gets to the photographs, which are just stunning at the end of all the aggravation. So that's worth a look. And then fourth on the list this week is David Manning. David Manning kind of does GoPro stuff and that kind of thing. So that's how I got into that, because I was using GoPros to make the videos for my flying and that kind of stuff. But just this week I noticed that David Manning had produced a video about how to get your audio right. So I'll put a link down to that below, because I've taken some tips from that and hopefully the audio is sounding a bit better. But anyway, it's definitely worth a look. David Manning. Last on the list this week is something called Trout and Coffee. I think this is such an inspirational channel. This is a guy that tells great stories. He's a musician as well. He lives in a part of the States that is just absolutely covered with the change of the seasons at the moment. So, and I think when you go and look at these things, when you look at the trees and the leaves falling and that kind of stuff this time of year, I think it's called leaf peeping. I think, something like that. But definitely check out the most recent video from Trout and Coffee this week, because there is some stunning scenery in it. Link down below. So, some tips. I think one of the tips this week would be, because I'm doing much more editing now and I'm kind of finding out a bit more about using Premiere Pro, one of the tips that I've got is that when I bring a piece of footage down onto the timeline, I then colour it green. That means when I go back to look at the footage in the folder or in the bin, I can see which footage that I've used. Simples. Right, so the second tip is to set up a charging station. This has changed my creative lifestyle really, because when I'm finished doing these videos now, I'm going to take everything, go to my charging station, which I mentioned earlier, links down below, and just connect everything, because all of it is in one place now, and I can connect it and it'll be charged for the next time I go out and do shooting or next time I make a video. So set up a charging station is another tip for this week. Right, using ND filters inside. One of the things about ND filters is I just had in my mind that you only use them outside, but on my lens that I'm using now, which is a Sigma 1.4 16mm, to get the aperture right open to get the blurry background, and to have the light, which is approximately right for me, I have to have an ND filter on it just to be able to open up to the 100 ISO, which is on the Canon M50. So yeah, using ND filters indoors, who knew? Right, fourth tip of the week then is one of the things I learned last week. So making sure that all of the devices that you're filming on when you're doing multi-camera, all the timestamps are the same. So it's worth spending a couple of minutes just making sure, get all the menus open on the cameras you're going to use, and make sure that they are running exactly the same time. Whether it's 12 o'clock, whatever the time is right now, just set them to be exactly the same time. When you come to find footage afterwards, it is much easier if they all have roughly or approximately or even accurately the same timestamp. Right, then the last tip this week is to name your files in a manner that makes them easy to find. So my new naming process is to have the date, the time, and then the project number and the project name. So that would look like 2020 11 16. Now, today, then perhaps 11 15, but you can't have the colon in the middle. And then the project number, which might be 0050, and then the project name. And what that means is when you come to sort these files in the folder, you can sort them numerically and they will be in the order that you filmed them in, date and time wise, and you can then also sort by whatever the project name is as well. All right, so that's a roundup of some things I've been up to, some of the new stuff I bought, some of the things I've been using the most, some stuff I wish I'd not bought, and some channels that I've been watching this week which I thought might be interesting to you guys as well, and 5 top tips to make your creating even better than it was before. That's it for this week, so look out for the next one, and do comment below if you've got any opinions or you'd like to know any more, or just comment. Don't forget to click the bell and subscribe.